Over the PA system, my boss called me up to his office. His voice seemed to have an urgency to it. As I approached his office, I heard the crackle of the TV announcers telling how a plane had just crashed into the World Trade Center in New York. Was it an accident, or was there something more? It didn't take long to find out the answer. The U.S. was under attack. Another plane slammed into the second tower, sending flames and debris down into New York City. Soon after, a third plane rocketed into the Pentagon, and a fourth into a field in western Pennsylvania. All these planes hijacked to be used as weapons of mass destruction against us. After a couple minutes of staying there, watching in horror what had just unfolded, I was allowed to leave and come home here to Hamilton Township to do what I could. I found that many people had already had vigils, little memorials, here at our town hall, at Public Works, and right here at War Memorial Park. A couple days later, several residents, including myself, were able to go to Ground Zero. A church in Linwood had gotten together with the local casinos, produce and grocery markets, an ice company, and a local jitney bus service to bring food up to Ground Zero to help feed the FBI and many others. So with that, we had packed up our food in the jitneys. 25 area residents took off heading toward New York. We hadn't traveled very far before you could smell the smoke coming from Ground Zero. Then you could see it as it whipped it along the ocean. Then there was the skyline of New York City and the huge plume of smoke rising up into the sky. As we got to the tunnel, we were stopped by a huge earth mover, Checkpoint 1. We were allowed to go through the tunnel, and on the opposite side, another earth mover, Checkpoint 2. This time, there were many men you usually see in uniform wearing sidearms, but this time carrying machine guns. They checked and searched our vehicles and us too. Now we were on the way to the temporary headquarters the FBI had at the tip of Lower Manhattan. All along the way, there were more checkpoints. But then suddenly we saw people, hundreds of them, lying the side of the road, waving and yelling at us like we were heroes. But along with them stood quietly, holding signs that matched posters mounted on telephone poles, other members who lost families, never to see them again. Arriving at the FBI headquarters, we unloaded our bounty and set up to serve those who were working. As agents started to come, a well-dressed gentleman came up to me and introduced himself. He was the deputy director of the FBI. He thanked us for the food that we brought to help serve his members, and he thanked us again and said, "Would you like to go to Command Center at Ground Zero itself?" We agreed, and 6 of the 25 were chosen. With some food packed into a jitney, we headed back up toward Ground Zero. The Command Center was a tent, 12 by 12, that sat in the middle of the street between the Millennium Hotel and the Trade Center. We unloaded the food that was welcomed by many folks there. Not long after, we had our first look at Ground Zero. A light rain had started to fall and the sky had darkened, but you could still see the massive crater in the ground, and down inside, flames and smoldering embers. My attention was drawn to the Millennium Hotel behind me. I saw that the windows were not blown out, but they were melted by the massive heat of burning aviation fuel. The melted glass looked like tears, like someone had been crying for those who were lost. 2 churches that were nearby, one, the first Catholic church here in the United States, had not one stained glass broken. Its golden cross atop of the roof still glowed.